This video is for students who are at home on Monday, February 22nd. Once you're in materials, you can open up the Week 10 folder and then open up today's lesson, which is Monday, February 22nd. If you look at today's agenda, you're expected to do the daily bell ringer and the main idea gallery walk. The bell ringer is what is going to get you credit for attendance today, so make sure you do complete that and submit it. When we go down to the main idea gallery walk, do notice it has two parts. So there is the assignment, which will be open in a separate tab, and then the part where you will put your responses, the main idea gallery walk responses. You will need both pieces to complete the assignment. So I'm going to open up the first part, and it wants me to open this in a separate tab. To do that, all I need to do is go down to the bottom where it says View next to a magnifying glass. By clicking on that, it will open up my main idea gallery walk in a new tab at the top. So here is my virtual gallery. When I click on the directions, I am going to be opening up the main idea gallery walk responses in a second tab. And then I'm going to choose 6 different exhibits to read. With each exhibit, I'm going to answer 4 questions. What the author's purpose was, what the topic was, the text structure, and in the end, I'm going to come up with a main idea, one sentence that summarizes the entire text. Once I have looked at 6 exhibits, I'll be able to submit my assignment to Schoology. Now to open up the responses, I need to go back into Schoology, back to the Monday folder, and I need to click on the main idea gallery walk responses. And it reminded me on how to open the first item in a separate tab. Now I need to open up the main idea gallery walk responses, that's this document here, in Kami. So I'll be clicking on this button. And then I'll be able just to turn it in when done. So let's open up the response document. All right, once again, it has reminded me on how to open the first item in a new tab, and it points out that these 9 items are my exhibits. Here are the directions again, which we have already gone over. And since part of this is identifying the text structure of each of your exhibits, here is a text structure helper chart with the 6 different types of text structure, their definitions, and even some possible keywords that you might see in the text. So if you cannot remember the difference among the 6 text structures, you can go back to this chart whenever you need to. Now, to fill out response number 1, we will need to click on an exhibit. So I'll go back to my virtual gallery. Again, I've got these open in separate tabs so I can easily go back and forth. And I need to pick my first exhibit. Now there are 9 exhibits. Remember, you only have to click on 6. I'm going to go for clowns for my first one. So I will read through this text, which is a short paragraph. Once I'm done reading this text, I will go to my response form, and it's going to ask me what the number of my exhibit was and the name. Well, this was number 8, and if you recall, it was called Clowns. So that's the first thing I would put into my response. Next, it's going to ask me the topic of my exhibit. Again, this should be only 1 or 2 words. So in 1 to 2 words, you need to identify what you thought this text was about and type it here. Then you need to determine what the author's purpose was. Were they trying to persuade me of something? Were they trying to inform me about something, which is just to provide the facts? Or were they trying to entertain me, which was to make me laugh or even make me cry? To circle these, off on the side, you have different options. One of them is shapes. And if you have the circle, you can easily circle whatever it is that you need to circle. Same thing when you're doing the text structure. Once you've determined which of the 6 text structures was used in your exhibit, you can easily put a circle around the correct answer. Please keep in mind that I have just shown you how to circle, so these are not necessarily the correct answers for exhibit number 8. And of course, if you need to erase something, you just use that eraser option, and then you can try again. The last question is to put it all together into a main idea statement. So now that you know all of this, tie it into a single sentence that summarizes the text. And this should be one complete sentence. Now, when putting the sentence together, if you can try and incorporate the author's purpose, the text structure, and the topic into one sentence, that often will get the job done. For example, and please note that my example is not necessarily based off the correct information. It is simply an example. So please do not use this as your actual answer. The author is trying to persuade the reader by describing the traits of clowns. See, trying to persuade the reader that clowns are scary, because I think they are. This is just an example of a main idea, because in my example, I have included an author's purpose, like persuade, a topic, like clowns, and a text structure, description. The author is trying to persuade the reader that clowns are scary by describing the traits of clowns. Again, this is just an example where I've tried to summarize a text in one single sentence. So now you pick out your 6 exhibits. You only do 6. For each exhibit, you need to fill out a response. There is room for 6 exhibits. And once you've filled out all 6, you will turn this in by clicking in Turn In that upper right corner. You'll click the Turn In here, and it will slowly send you back to Schoology so you can submit your final product. If you have questions, the best way to reach Ms. Borkerding is to use Schoology messages, or you can always email her. Good luck.